Here we go. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for yet another Move Swiftly thought, a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. My goodness. The year was around 2010. It was my last year ever playing football. I finished off my playing football career at a school in New York named Stony Brook University. All right, in my last year, I've wrestled in my mind about actually saying this on camera, but I do believe after 10 years I could finally say this statement. It might piss some people off what I say, but going into that year, there was the best running back that I've ever played with, was a guy named Eddie Gowans, like Ed Gowans, all right? Now, when I say the best, not the best running back I've ever seen, but the best running back I've ever played with was Ed Gowans. I mean, let me tell you, that's saying a lot because I've played with some pretty damn good ones. But whenever I think back about it, if you were to ask me, look, or they called me Crunk back then. They called me Crunk. Who's the best running back you've ever played with? You got to give me one name. I got to give you Ed Gowans. All right, this motherfucker. Listen, this was a solid 5'11". He was 5'11", a solid 225 coming at you like a whole lot of man. When he gets those shoulders square, whole lot of man coming at you. A solid 225, like cut up muscle, maybe 10% body fat. I mean, he was a motherfucking dog, a dog. All right, a dog. So going into my final season at Stony Brook, that was supposed to be the guy. You know, everyone was expecting a breakout year, like NFL type. Like he was NFL type talent at the FCS level, which is rare, but you could see it. You could see he could easily have been playing at Alabama, one of those bigger schools, right? So, a couple games into that season, he had like a groin injury that was bothering him. It didn't seem too serious or something like that. You know, it wasn't one of those things that was that big of a deal because, you know, you Eddie Gowans, so you good, bro. Like that was kind of the feeling around the locker room, right? So we played UMass that year. We lost to UMass, and I'll never forget that moment where he was just lying on the field, done, like couldn't move, couldn't get up, and that's when it really hit me personally, like, oh shit, it's a little more serious than I thought. Like this could be like a career-ending type of injury if you keep pushing it, right? So there had a time, there was during the week, like later on in that season, where the backup was another great running back. He's in the top 5 of running backs I've ever played with. His name was Miguel Massonet. And I remember walking through campus and, you know, me and him became kind of close because I played fullback, and there was times where, actually that summer we roomed together, him and Bomero roomed together that summer. So I remember walking through the cafeteria, and I saw Miggy. His name, we used to call him Miggy, Miguel Massonet. I saw him just with his head down, like look this, like it looked like the weight of the world was on his shoulders. And he just looks at me and goes, yeah, man, I just got I got a text saying, geez, Eddie Gowans, he's done for the season. That's it, he's gone, man. The carry's gonna fall on me now. I gotta step it up. And you know, me, again, I was kind of in a funny place at that time because I was not only his lead blocker, but I was also kind of at the end of my career. I had my coach hat on. I had my motivational speaker hat on. I was kind of getting into what I was going to do after football. I just looked at it. I didn't even say anything. I just took in that moment to say, that's football. That's this game. That's what life is, right? You never know when your moment is going to be. You never know, right? You never know. This is the truest thing. I want you guys to grasp that point, because a couple years, you give it 2 seasons later, Miguel Massonet was maybe a couple votes away from becoming a Walter Payton Award winner, which is the highest honor you can give an FCS football player. Go do the research. I'll even put some video. Listen. He was a couple votes away from becoming the Walter Payton Award winner. I believe he got a couple tryouts in the NFL, never actually panned out, but it was one of those things where you gotta stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. In fact, and I'll even close you out with this story. A couple years after that, I was you know, checking out Stony Brook, you know, checking out my alma mater, see how they're doing and all that good stuff. And then I see, I'm looking, I'm like, wait a minute, there's another running back they got. It's number 23, Gowans. Like, what the fuck Eddie didn't come back. He's not still playing. And it turns out it's his brother, Jordan Gowans, who, to be honest with you, is probably the best out of all of them. Just absolutely tore it up and did his thing. So here's the point, and this is the point I want to make especially because football season is upon us, and we're getting to that. We're getting back to, the air is getting lighter and all those things. And the way this translates into the working world is you have to stay ready. You never know when your number is going to be called. Again, I'm going to go back at the beginning. Eddie Gowans was supposed to be the guy. One groin injury. Somebody else stepped up, almost became the Walter Payton Award winner. A couple years later, that guy who was supposed to be the main one, his little brother, ended up being the best out of all of them. It's about the future. It's about the next one. It's about what you got going on next, all right? Again, I dive deeper into these topics on my podcast. It's called the Move Swiftly Podcast. Make sure you go download it. It's available on all streams, all streaming platforms, or whatever you want to call it. Also, got a couple copies of my book on makeyeamove.com, MakeYamove.com. Everyone out there, Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.